Hi, how are you doing? Hello, this is Kim Reads Urantia. So we're going to read from the Urantia book. First, a little bit from Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. And this one is July 20th by Amy Carmichael. Amy Carmichael was a British or Irish Christian missionary who went to India to help the people there. She served in India for 55 years without furlough and wrote many books about the missionary work there. So she lived from 1867 to 1951 during the British occupation of India. Okay. Okay. Holy Spirit, think through me till your ideas are my ideas. Okay. This is awesome. This is what I want for myself too. So I want to think and act as a vehicle through which the Spirit can think and act. So especially, I've been thinking a lot about doing missionary work myself among Native American people. So maybe she's somebody that I need to look into and research, or that's hard, because always you want to, it's this human ego that's in there. It wants to win. It wants to be right. I want to, you show these people that, yeah, you have to get the Urantia book, or you have to do what I tell you. And you know what? They don't have to do any of that. They don't have to do that. They don't even have to listen to me. They don't even have to like me. No, they don't owe me anything. If I go on a missionary trip, I'm a guest. So I have to behave in all manner, in all ways as a guest, and honor my host. Those people, if you have an opportunity to go and do this work for God, you have to always remember to respect the people that are hosting you there, and their beliefs are important and valid, and you have to learn to work within that context instead of, the old school, like when the Spanish came to Central America, it's like all fine, but you guys have to abandon your traditional pagan ways, and you have to get this if you want to go to heaven and stuff like that. And yeah, and look at all the things God gave us, because we believe in the right God. God gave us powerful guns and powerful, we're very powerful because we believe in the right God. That's all bull crap. That's all bull crap. What you have physically is in no way connected to who you are spiritually. There's no connection there. As a matter of fact, there might be an inverse relationship, because when you have the Spirit, you're not connected to material wealth and material power. You're not connected to it. You release those things. So so that's something I've been thinking a lot about, is missionary work. Anyway, okay, I'm going to keep going on this. Okay, so we're going to read from the Urantia book. We got paper 12, The Universe of Universes. This is about space and time, section 5. Okay, again, this is really hard. This is the science-y part. It's like, holy crap, All right. But here we go. Okay. Like space, time is a bestowal of paradise, but not in the same sense, only indirectly. Time comes by virtue of motion, and because mind is inherently aware of sequentiality. Okay. From a practical viewpoint, motion is essential to time, but there is no universal time unit based on motion. except insofar as the Paradise Habona standard day is arbitrarily so recognized. The totality of space respiration destroys its local value as a time source. Okay, so we have to, motion is essential to time. So it's like we have to say, okay, now I'm here, but I was there a moment ago, right? I was over there. So when I moved, it took time for me to move from here to there. Okay. So what I'm feeling is that there can be space without time, but there can't be time without space and movement within space. Okay, so there's no time unit based on the motion. Okay, the totality of space respiration destroys local value of it as a time source. So this whole idea of space respiration is messes with the idea of time, because space itself is kind of moving a little bit. So then it messes with the idea that, okay, so something moves through space and time to get through from here to there. Okay? Because space itself is moving, respiring. Okay. All right, here we go. Space is not infinite, even though it takes origin from paradise. So there's a limit out there where the actual space stops being space, stops. Not absolute, for it is pervaded by the unqualified absolute. Right, space is the domain of yin. We do not know the absolute limits of space, but we do know that the absolute of time is eternity. So there's a limit to space, but there's no limit to time. But like we said before, space doesn't need time. Time, though, needs space to act through. So how could time be eternal and space be limited? Because what is time going to go through if it's not going to go through space? So there'll be some point where there's time out there, but not space. But no, time needs space. So then, therefore, space must also be unlimited. Unless, you know what I mean, when time gets to a point where it runs out of space, then, okay, make a petition, and here we get more space for time to go through. Okay, that's so weird, but okay. I'm going to keep going. Time and space are inseparable only in the time-space creations. The 7 super universes, right? Non-temporal space, space without time, theoretically exists, but the only truly temporal space is paradise area. Non-spatial time, time without space, exists in the mind of the paradise level of function. Okay. So so in paradise, time, there's no time in space. Only they think about, oh, there's no time, but they think about space. They think about time, because time, non-spatial time, time without space exists in the mind of paradise level function. Yeah, it's just craziness. I mean, well, it's not crazy, but it's like, it's like, okay. So they give time and space, but they have it in their mind. Okay. So this is the way I understand it. Okay. So in paradise, there's no time and no space. Everything is just, like that, right? say, get out to Havona, and there is some space, but it's malleable, and time, they're outside of time, but they can use time if they want to, but they don't need to. So it's kind of like a measuring stick or something like that. Like something they can measure stuff with, so they can use it, but they're outside of it. So it's like a ruler they got in their pocket. But then out here in the super universes, where we have space time, and we're all moving through both space and time. Okay. And space is respiring and stuff like that. Okay, all right. Okay. The relatively motionless mid-space zones impinging on paradise and separating pervaded from unpervaded space are the transition zones from time to eternity. Hence the necessity of paradise pilgrims becoming unconscious during this transit, when it is to culminate in paradise citizenship. Time-conscious visitors can go to paradise without thus sleeping, but they remain creatures of time. Okay. It's separating. Okay, so the mid-space zones separate pervaded from unpervaded space. Okay. So paradise pilgrims become unconscious during this transit, when it is to culminate in paradise citizenship. Time-conscious visitors can go to paradise without thus sleeping, but they remain the creatures of time. So you can visit paradise and still be a creature of time. But if you're going to reside there, then you're outside of time and you have to be asleep or something when you go there. Relationships to time do not exist without motion and space. Okay, but consciousness of time does. Okay, so you can be conscious of time without having a relationship to it. So you can, it's like I said, like you have it as a ruler in your pocket. Can sequentiality can conscientize time even in the absence of motion. Man's mind is less time-bound than space-bound because of the inherent nature of mind. Okay? Because even during the days of the earth life in the flesh, though man's mind is rigidly space-bound, the creative human imagination is comparatively time-free. Right. But time itself is not genetically a quality of mind. Okay, because when you have an imagination, you can think outside of time, or when your mind, like when time seems to go by faster, it's not really bound by time because your mind is really interested in what it's doing. Man's mind is less time bound than space bound. Okay. Okay, so we're more bound to space than we are to time. Yeah. There are 3 different levels of time cognizance. 1, mind-perceived time, consciousness of sequence, motion, and a sense of duration. 2, spirit perceived time. Insight into motion Godward, and the awareness of the motion of ascent to levels of increasing divinity. Three, personality creates a unique time sense out of insight into reality, plus a consciousness of presence and an awareness of duration. Okay, I kind of get the first two, but I don't know. Personality creates a unique time sense out of insight into reality. Because this is a unique time sense. So this is the relationship of my own personality to my personal reality. My personal reality. Insight into reality plus a consciousness of presence and an awareness of duration. Okay. Unspiritual animals know only the past and live in the present. Spirit indwelt man has powers of prevision, insight. He may visualize the future. Only forward-looking and progressive attitudes are personally real. Static ethics and traditional morality are just slightly superanimal. Traditional morality, static ethics. So this is always right and wrong. End of story. That's the end. 10 commandments. Always. Yeah. That's only slightly super animal. Wow. Traditional morality is only just slightly super animal. Nor is Stoicism a high order of self-realization. Stoicism has to do with just accepting reality as it is and not getting emotional about it. Just is what it is. That's it. Right? More or less. Let's look that up. Stoicism. What the hey, man? Stoicism. The endurance of pain or hardship without the display of feelings and without complaint. Stoicism, exactly. All right. Ethics and morals become truly human when they are dynamic and progressive, alive with universe reality. The human personality is not merely a concomitant of time-space events. The human personality can also act as the cosmic cause of such events. Okay, so we create our own future, our own reality like this. And because of how we perceive reality, and that perceptions interact with that reality to create new reality. Okay, that I totally am on board with. Okay, all this what is space, what is time stuff is kind of like spooky, but it's okay. All right, I'm going to let you go. And I thank you so very much for being with me today. Okay, bye.